Hello friends, welcome to GeoTimes. This is Dinesh. The country which consists of 50 states and the third most populous country, a land of immigrants and the land of opportunities. The most powerful nation with the largest defense budget and the largest military and the nuclear arsenal. One among the P5 countries, and the list goes on. 2020, the year of election for the United States of American presidency. So who will win? The debate continues, the Democrats or the Republicans. But let's discuss about the process of the electioneering. So at the election process of the United States of American president, USA is a democracy which has three branches of US government. It provides a separation of powers in the American Constitution. The three branches are, one is the legislative and the executive and the judiciary. The legislature make laws. The executives carries out the laws, they execute the laws, and the judiciary interprets these laws which are created by the legislatures. So the Congress, like the Parliament of India, we have an upper house and lower house, the Senates and House of Representatives. Senates, in each state you have two Senates, so we have 50 states, so totally 100 seats for Senates, and depending upon the population, we have 438 seats for lower house, that is the House of Representatives. In executive, we have president, vice president and the cabinet of ministers. In judiciary, we have Supreme Court and other federal courts. So the nominees. Donald Trump was a nominee at the National Convention at North Carolina, and he chose Mike Pence for the vice presidency. And he was nominated, Joe Biden was nominated for presidency at Democrats National Convention at Wisconsin. And he chose Kamala Harris for the vice presidency, the running mate. She is the first Afro-American and the Asian American to be nominated for vice presidency. So Republicans have elephant as a party symbol and Democrats have D as a party symbol. So these are the two major parties. One is Republican and the other is Democrats. We have other parties like the Tea Party, Green Party and Liberation Party. There are a lot of parties, but these are the major parties. These two are major parties, Republican and Democrats, the well-known. So this slide explains you the entire electioneering process of American president. Let's start with this. So according to US Constitution, we have some qualification for a presidential candidate. He should be a natural born US citizen. He should have minimum of 35 years and he should be a US resident for 14 years. So step one, the primaries and the caucuses. So who are primaries? Primaries are the party members who vote for their best candidate in the general election. It's a secret ballot voting system. And caucuses are the party members who elect their nominee by discussion and votes, and they elect just by raising hands. It's an informal election. So depending upon states, some states choose primaries and some states choose caucuses, and in some states a combination of both primaries and caucuses. They choose for the electing delegates. The electioneering is done by the state or the local bodies. So there are many people who want to become president and each has their own ideas and own power. So within the party, they go for the campaign, and the primaries and caucuses elect delegates. So who are delegates? He is a person chosen by the people from each state to vote on their behalf to choose the nominee, that is the presidential candidate at the National Convention. These delegates are chosen by the primaries and caucuses. For Democrats, you have two sets of delegates. One are the normal delegates and super delegates. Super delegates are like lawmakers and governors, etc. And even Republicans have two sets of delegates, pledged and unpledged. Unpledged are similar to super delegates. So these primary and caucuses elections happen around January to June, with Iowa and New Hampshire traditionally holding the first primers and the caucuses. And generally on Super Tuesday, it's a very famous day in which many states have primers and caucuses elections. This will give a general trend of the election and the winning chances, and nominees will drop after that if they don't have sufficient delegates. So coming to step 2, national conventions. After the election of delegates, they select a presidential nominee, and in turn the presidential nominee select the running mate, the vice president candidate. So after this, the presidential candidates of the both parties, the Republicans and Democrats, campaign throughout the country to win the support of general population. So they'll have debates at universities. This time 3 debates, Trump and Joe Biden, and 1 between Mike Pence versus Kamala Harris. So after these general debates, coming to step 3, the general election. The voters, the registered voters of the United States of America, they elect the electors through the ballot system, secret ballot system. On November 3rd, these electors elect the US president. It's an indirect election. People in every state vote for the electors. This is called the electoral votes, electoral college. So depending upon the population, based on its representation in Congress, the parliament, they have number of voters. They have number of electors. Like in California, you have 55, Alaska 3, etc. So to win the election, the candidate should get a minimum of half seats, that is 270 should be there to win the election. So on December 14th, these electors who got elected from the general voters will elect the president of USA. Then the newly elected president and vice president both are inaugurated in January 20th. So this is all about the election process of USA president, a year-long process. So let's see who will win, the Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Thank you. Jai Hind.